You should do what, Alex?
Probably shouldn't talk about the child sex highway.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this little podcast we have going on here. Right now, we're going to talk about a couple of things that have our interest. Put out some goofs, some gaffs, and hopefully for you, some laughs. So, let's get started. I am Mason Brooks, your titular host tonight. Joining me is the wonderful Alex Naylor, the always bountiful Blake Spencer,
Hey up.
and Raoul.
We cannot talk about him.
No, boys, please. I'm human too.
That's yet to be proven in a court of law.
I mean, I can prove it in another way if you.
Too hot for YouTube. Too hot for YouTube.
Okay, of course.
But anyway, if we're all ready, gentlemen, let's begin. I have a very special one for you to start here tonight, gentlemen. I bring news that it has finally happened. Flash is done. Flash is dead. Sure, we all have bountiful memories of playing those terrible, terrible Flash games on Newgrounds.
Oh,
I remember playing
Everyone
Dad
had
and
a
Me
big
and
lift
beating up
of
kids.
the one with the chainsaw. He plays the guy with the skull. That was class, to be fair. And then you had that one which was like torture a human 9000. You like spawn shoving spikes through them and shit. You set them on fire.
A modern day class.
Some fond memories of that one.
Do you have any fond memories of it, Alex?
Yeah, I used to play a bunch of like tactical games. So they're usually like war games. So I mean, like Epic War. And they had like 5 different like games, like all on like 2, 3, 4, and 5. But I played 4 the most. But yeah, I think most of them converted to HTML anyway. So
We can't forget the big one itself, Happy Wheels.
Oh,
Sure, we've all played that.
Oh.
yeah.
Rest in peace. What's that one that you played,
Ding.
Rahul, the running guy?
Running guy.
Yeah, the one you have to
Oh,
run to
running
different
across, like,
countries.
Run different countries. Oh,
Good game.
Extreme Pamplona, yeah. So that was originally made for Sure, the deodorant brand.
Deodorant.
Yeah, I don't know what do you want me to say, but yeah, no, they made that for that bull running event that goes on in Spain. What's the name of that?
I have no idea.
Oh well, it was made for that.
I
Yeah,
believe
that
it's
was
just
sick.
called Run of the Bulls.
Oh well, there you go then. Yeah, no, yeah, you just run around and jump. My favorite one's where you run away from a very stereotypical Prussian. It's just.
I think my saddest loss has to be Bin Weevils. That
That
was a class game.
Is that on Flash? Jesus.
It was on Flash.
And it's still going.
Well, not anymore.
That taught me how to sneeze correctly. Yeah, there's a big emphasis on the catch it and kill it in Bin Weevils, if I remember correctly.
Which is weird because they're all bugs, so they thrive on mess.
Yeah, literally. Just notice Alex is Remy
Oh yeah.
staring at me. I
Oh.
pride myself on my Arabic rat. Correct. No, that's stupid. I was gonna say they speak Arabic, but of course, fucking not. That's kind of the point.
What, rats?
Yeah, no, I don't think you get me speaking fucking Arabic.
Now they're usually Turkish, aren't they?
Yeah, massive Turks,
Of
those
course.
rats. They do like their kebab.
I've seen a couple Polish, although those are
Polish
usually
ones.
bilingual.
In Ratatouille, he's he'd be French, of course. Yeah.
Oh, modern day French. Turkish.
Ooh.
Is it racist to call Turkish people meat tongues?
Yes.
No, yeah, I think it is. Yeah,
Yes, it is.
yeah,
How smart of you.
yeah. Not getting
Did you-
monetized.
Was that even really a question?
No, apparently not. No.
So what
But
are
Blake, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, what other topics do people have?
Well, I have quite an extensive one. I was gonna
We
say
can go with that next.
By all means.
everyone's favorite fights in cinema and TV, like the best ones, the most
Ooh.
iconic ones.
Yes.
What's your favourite first?
All right, well, I have three. So I feel as if when I started watching Daredevil season 1, episode 2, has an amazing corridor uncut fight scene, and I feel as if uncut specifically really spoils you, because once you watch a uncut fight scene where you can see the exhaustion of the characters.
Well, what's good about those scenes is they are actually cut. They just
Yeah, it's
they
like the hidden
hide
cuts
all
and
all the
yeah.
cuts when someone goes in front of a camera or things
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
like a lot of 1917. Obviously, it's
Yes.
prided on being such an uncut looking movie. But any time it's like a black pan where someone like goes in front of the camera, I know Blake, that's probably not the right term for it, but that's where the cuts lie. But it makes for a very seamless interaction, which
Yeah.
is always really, really good.
Same thing happens in the Kingsman in the fights in them films. They are like the church fight. That is it's made to look uncut, but if you look closer, you can sort of tell, but it's done in such a way that it's really good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Second one, bit of a quiet one. I don't think many people know this movie, or if they do, it's everyone that's quite interested in MMA. But it's Boyka Undisputed, MMA fighting movie. Really, really good. Scott Adkins, he's from the UK. He's an incredible martial artist, and he plays this man Yuri Boyka in a series of brutal, extremely well choreographed fights, which I feel have really, really just like set my expectations for other fighting movies. And then the last one had to be Raid.
Of course,
Fucking
Raid.
hell, mate. Raid.
Mm-hmm.
One big moment in Raid, which I think is fucking rad as fuck, is there's this one bit with the main guy. He grabs this guy and then sort of like a reverse dolphin dive motion slams his neck on like the fragmented, splintered wood of the door, and oh man, it's just fucking feral.
Feral.
But it's like, yeah, man, it's really, really regressive kind of base of human nature kind of combat. That really, really just gets the blood boiling. Makes for a very interesting watch, I feel.
I think my favourite fight scene would probably be the nunchuck scene in Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee,
Ooh.
where he's fighting off over a bunch of people at once, then he gets the nunchucks and he beats the living fuck out of a bunch of guards, and it's just such a nice fight scene because Bruce Lee was someone who could genuinely do all these moves, and the way he swings his weapons and fights in the martial arts, it's genuine and looks real. I feel sorry for the extras. What would yours be, Mason?
Well, I have two. To begin with, I'm bending the rules a little bit here with filthy anime, of course.
Ugh.
But for my first one here, I'd have to go with Netero versus Meruem from Hunter x Hunter. This is probably the best fight in the entire show, at least for me, of just Meruem, the King of Ants, going up against Netero, the at one point strongest man in the world, but just because of age has like decreased, and on the entire fight centered around like if Netero doesn't win this, the human race could be enslaved, so he's going in this with his all. And you watch the fight, and although part of it you can sort of tell is kind of one-sided, with just Netero being as aged as he is, like he's still able to like give in his all, and like the entire thing is almost set out like a chess game, the entire time of whoever gains the upper hand first is going to destroy the other, and by the end of it, it just feels like this climactic fight that really does feel like the fate of the world is resting on it. And my second one would have to be the freeway fight scene from Pirates of the Caribbean, the second one.
Oh, Dead Man's Chest.
The one where they're fighting on top of that giant wheel. I feel a lot of what goes towards making it great is the lead up to it, with each character having their own solid investments as to why they're in this fight, giving it their all for their own personal missions. And I feel it really gives something to like the fight as a whole, as well as throwing in that comedic value with a lot of the choreography throughout the whole of it. I feel it's a very good, honestly, probably one of the best fights in the whole Caribbean series.
And the last, Mr. Naylor.
So I've got 2 movies, both by the man of Sacha Baron Cohen.
This is not going to be serious, is it?
So, my first one is got to be the ending fight scene in Bruno, the movie where he plays a gay fashion designer from Austria, where in front of a bunch of crowd of rednecks from South America, he boxes another Austrian man who's his assistant and then starts to make love with him in front of all these, and just the pure passion that like that is in the fight. Like at the start, like it builds up. So with Bruno dressed as like a redneck, stripping clothes off women, rounding up the crowd, and yet when this ex-lover comes into the field, it's the pure passion of them. Like the best way to describe it, fighting like schoolboys, pulling each other ground, and when they bloodied up in the corner, they start making love and they start stripping each other. And when the crowd throws a chair at them, beautiful. Like,
Oh,
it's just also the fact that there's literally the very final scene is a man crying makes it the best. The fact there's a grown man, bold, white shirt with the American flag and guns on it is just crying in front of a camera is purely emotional. The second fight scene is from the Borat movie, the first one.
Oh no, I know where this is going. Oh.
And his assistant fight over a magazine of Pamela Anderson. And it leads to them entering into what seems like some conference. And this leads to them being apprehended by security. The pure, like, rage and power dynamic of it is beautiful. And also how it's shocking how the audience react. So yeah,
you missed out the fact they're nude.
Nah, that's only an addition to the fight. Still be passionate about being fully.
Really, the cherry on top.
Yeah, especially when you get to see the folds of fat flop along the floor, and also the possible glimpse of a cock. Beautiful.
I feel we've all given our excellent thoughts on that one. Some more literary than others. Yes. Would anyone like to go next? Any specific topic?
It's me or you, Alex.
Well, do you want to know about the Zimbabwe cough syrup?
The Zimbabwe cough syrup. Tell us more.
Alex, you always know I'm up for anything about Zimbabwe.
So, in Zimbabwe, they have a massive codeine problem with Broncler. It's a cough syrup that has codeine in it, so it's a painkiller, but it's also highly addictive. And in large quantities, it can lead to respiratory problems, which is quite ironic, as well as permanent damage to the brain, heart, and the liver.
Oh dear.
It's around $5 to buy it, which is really cheap. And they have to import, they illegally drug mule it over the border from South Africa because it's banned in Zimbabwe. But it's because the government believes people over about 50% of used to it. And the ability to do it is because of just unemployment is that rampant. A lot of them don't have formal employment, and so idleness leads to nothing to do, and so they do Broncler. Because if they touch their teeth, it can start rotting their teeth. So
oh my god.
I know, but it's great. But yeah, like if they get caught as well by the police, they give them 2 bottles and they go.
Bribing with cough syrup. If only that worked here.
My God.
There is, one advantage is that I don't think a man has ever coughed in Zimbabwe in the last 5 years. So, like, so yeah, like,
Cool.
but yeah, that's about all the information I got.
Silver lining.
So one.
Indeed.
I'll say it, yeah.
The government has stated that they will eventually do something about it, but they just haven't.
Eventually.
You just haven't.
Like,
You know, I mean, first they gotta get their fill. You know,
yeah,
have a little bit fun with it themselves.
yeah, but yeah, that's about the Zimbabwe cough syrup, epidemic.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank
But
you.
it's just
Fair
great how like codeine is quite a expensive drug in America, and yet it's like it's the cheapest one in Zimbabwe.
Oh, I don't know what to say after that. To be honest.
just fucking.
It's hard one to continue from, I will say.
It is. But Blake, please.
Oh, so I have compiled together a list of some good questions I found on the internet that are still unanswered to this day, and we need to solve some of them. So I'm picking out some of the best ones here. So the first one is, if you could start a secret conspiracy theory, what would you start?
Ooh. Alright. Who would like to go first?
Moles are sentient.
No.
You want to elaborate or?
Is there much that needs else to be said?
That's true.
Moles is in the animal. I want every person that ever sees a mole dig its way up, I just want them to think, what are they planning? What are they doing down there?
Alright, I'll go next. Madame McCann is actually a descendant from the monarchy. She grew up to be what everyone knows as Princess Diana. Now, controversy around the name, of course. Oh, by the way, the dates might not match up because that's what the government want you to believe.
Of course. Doctor.
So yeah. So from there onwards, well, everyone knows what happened. Princess Diana died in the car crash, unfortunately. But she's still alive though. Really, come on. It's like
Well, I'm pretty sure like Princess Diana died, then like before Madame McCann was born.
no.
It wouldn't make sense that
No.
Madame McCann's reincarnation of Princess Diana.
That's
No,
what they
Alex,
want
this
you
is
to
my conspiracy. Okay, it's mine. It didn't have to make sense.
I'm just
9/11
still-
was done by Bush. All right, Bush was born way after 9/11. People still eat that shit up.
What?
Yeah, that's true.
Alex, what's your favourite conspiracy?
that Rahul was not real.
Yeah.
This fucking conspiracy theory is that like bad. I just don't believe he's
That
actually a
bad.
real human being that actually knows about stuff.
It's true.
That's I believe he's a figment of your imagination, Blake. Simple as that.
Rahul is gone. I've got another good question
Yes.
here. What is
Go on.
this? Where is the strangest place you've ever taken a piss or taken a shit?
Turkey.
It's gotta
Yeah,
be Turkey.
no, let's say Turkey. I was in Old Town in Turkey, and walking through
Well,
the.
not Newtown.
No, Alex, you're very funny.
No.
I was having a piss just where the guide said, "Oh yeah, if you quickly need to go, just go here." I don't know if you know a lot about like, well, actually, it's not really, but Turkish architecture. Usually, the walls have a lot of holes in them, but like decoratively,
Oh.
like chiseled through. I look up and people making eye contact with me were in the back of a restaurant garden.
Oh
Oh,
dear.
Just yeah.
I had a different idea to do with those holes.
Oh.
Oh no! Not on YouTube.
No, I didn't shove my cock through a decorative hole. What about you, Mason, then? Where's the weirdest place you've had a piss?
That is a very tricky one. as I tend to not defecate or urinate in strange places.
Boring.
Perhaps civilized, some might say. I think I may have gone in a cave once.
Okay.
What?
I think I might have been taking one of those cave tours, where you go through and they show you, oh, that's a stalagmite, that's a stalactite,
Yeah.
and they tell you the difference that you immediately forget. I think I really needed to go in one of those, so I just went off to the corner for a little bit, got down and did it right there.
Took a piss in a cave.
Indeed.
For me, Australia.
just Australia as a whole. It's weird.
Just went to Australia.
Yeah, it's, when you have weird animals around you. I was in a caravan park, and that's surrounded by kangaroos. It was in a old fort for German prisoners during World War II. Or yeah, two. And the bathroom was enterable with by the kangaroos.
Oh no!
I don't know why did you decide not to put in the public one though. I only did it once in there. I did it in the caravan otherwise. But the animals could just walk in while you're taking a piss. They were quite tame though, because they were so used to having humans around that they just didn't give a shit about who you were. So that was good, I guess. But yeah, no.
I didn't give a shit, but you did.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, so they're pretty alright. They just didn't do much.
Thinking more about it, Australia probably would be the best place for a POW camp. Because if they escape, where are they going to go?
Where did that come from?
All island prison.
Prison Island. Oh, that is the history.
Yeah.
Now, there's one place that I dare not say, but I will for the sake of this video, that I have had a piss in. And it's a very scary place. No one should really
Your
go
ex's
there.
mouth.
It's not Mamba in Blackpool, is it?
No, it's worse. It's scary. It's Bradford.
Bradford.
No. I went to the toilet, but I was chased down by the hooligans that live there. You don't know what it's like living near such a place.
Fucking Bradford.
Fucking Bradford.
Oh, I forget. Yeah, because you're in Leeds. Quite close.
Shh, we're on the internet. Don't
Oh
say.
no. The whole of
I'll have
Leeds.
to cut that out.
Oh God, no.
Just cut it
Oh,
They say if you say Bradford 3 times in the mirror, you get
no.
transported there when you wake up.
You say Bradford 3 times in a mirror, you just become unemployed.
Yikes.
Oh. Alright, that's. I think I'll save some of my questions for next time. I've got a whole list of them here.
I have another thing we can discuss. This one's a little bit more of a serious topic, in a way. Some news, if you will. So Star Wars news, in fact. So on Twitter, a man you may know, Star Wars Theory, it's a pretty popular Star Wars YouTuber on the site. He made a reaction video to the scene in The Mandalorian Season 2, where Luke Skywalker comes to the rescue. And during this, he cried on camera. As for him, Luke Skywalker was one of his personal childhood heroes. So for him, it was quite an emotional scene. But on Twitter, it seemed that Pablo Hidalgo, a Lucasfilm executive, had to give his 2 pieces on the video, in which he tweeted, and I quote, "If you feel compelled to have an emotional reaction to Star Wars, by all means have one. Hell, I almost cried at Crate in the theater, and I never cried at a movie in my life." but don't artificially recreate that shit for your millions of followers.
What?
Now, this has caught a lot of backlash to the Disney exec. Some coming to his side saying it's sarcasm. Some of us saying that he's just outright attacking a fan. I wondered if any of you have any thoughts on that.
That's a bit of a sticky one, yeah.
Well, did he?
I would also like to add
was it a
afterwards he
legitimate
did
cry?
delete the Twitter.
Was it a legitimate?
I believe
cry?
he was legitimately crying. Yes.
Right. So what's his problem with someone liking their show?
I'm not entirely sure. I suppose that's a question that you'd have to ask Mr. Hidalgo. Although I don't know how much he'd be willing to talk about it, as he did delete the tweet later on after the backlash.
So let me get this
But I
straight.
believe he also, in a later reply tweet, he replied to him saying that emotions are not for sharing.
What?
That one might
Oh.
be sarcastic. I can't confirm.
Yeah, no, that's a weird
Fuck this guy. Honestly,
one.
some people
Fool.
don't deserve what they have, and he's one of them. I think he should go to Zimbabwe and see what it's
Don't
like
go,
for them
dude.
with their cough syrup.
Well, emotions aren't for sharing, but which is dumb because if we don't show
I
emotions,
also-
we don't know what people are on about. So
I really
Yeah.
liked his manly man moment where he was like, I almost cried at Crate in the theatre, and I've never cried at a movie in my life. As though it's a accomplishment.
Big strong boy.
I cry all the time in films. It's great. Because everyone else is usually doing the same thing. It's a normal thing to do. Why this, and usually it's a good thing, so why this guy has a problem with someone having an emotional reaction to one of his things?
Usually in that state, personally, I'd feel humbled that I managed to make something to make a fan feel such a way.
Well, I can't confirm whether or not how much influence Pablo Hidalgo has on The Mandalorian. I do believe he had a lot of influence on The Last Skywalker, though, if I'm correct.
Ah,
He was a big part of that.
Because that was such a good movie.
so he's the
God.
bad side of Star Wars. He's the evil empire.
I nearly cried at The Last Skywalker.
You know, when she says Ray and then has a massive pause. Skywalker. The audacity.
You see, I cried
I
at the Rise
cried
of
too.
Skywalker because of how shit it was.
I cried because I was seeing Star Wars die right in front of me.
I cried because I finally, relieved that it was ending.
I saw Came for the first time. That was pretty cool.
Okay, on that note, I think we'll be done for today.
Cried with tears of calm.
Calm.
An excellent one we've had tonight, gentlemen. I hope everyone
Cried
has,
when I saw the
everyone at
Delphine
home
porn
enjoyed
video
it.
because fucking.
Hopefully,
disgusting
okay.
fuck.
We've had some goofs, some gaffs, and hopefully you've had some laughs. Good night, everyone.